Charlie.
Charlie. Pleasure to meet you, Charlie.
Nice meeting you, Ken.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are you doing here in Vietnam?
Well, I'm just here. I love Vietnam. Vietnam's in my heart.
Yeah.
It's like my second home.
Okay.
As a young man, this is where I grew up.
Yeah.
You know, I came here when I was almost 20, and I left when I was 21 and a half.
Yeah.
And that was the most formidable years of my life. It changed everything for me.
Even in light of the war conditions, you still felt it was...
This is the interesting story. The story is that when I got on the plane at Duong Global to leave, I swore I would never come back to this country again. I would never come back to Vietnam. Ever.
Understood.
And a friend of mine, his name was Dr. Fulton, who has since passed away, kept on telling me, because I was being treated what they call PTSD, counseling and stuff. Kept on telling me, you need to go back to Vietnam. You need to go back to Vietnam. I said, Doc, I'm not going back to that place. I'm not going back. So finally, just to shut him up, I agreed to come back. And my first time back, stayed at a place called the Ilios up here. Spent 18 days. My first experience was in this park. I got up and I like to exercise. I'm sorry, I'm sweaty.
No, but you're fit.
But I like to exercise. And I got up in the morning when they'd all been out drinking that night. We got in, came out.
What year was that?
This was 2010. This is my 29th trip back since 2010. So every time I come back, it just gets better and better for me. It's good for my heart. I love Vietnam. I love the Vietnamese people. I try to do what I can do to help them. You know?
So I used to live in San Francisco, and I've worked for a few judges who were also Vietnam veterans. My dad fought in the Vietnam War for the American side, and so it's the closure. And of course, you know, we have John Kerry, John McCain, and all the situations. But having veterans like you to come back and not have any negative sentiment towards the country, and are having very positive. And that's the reason why we make these videos.
Well, that's good, because they're very informative. And on the contrary, what I've learned, I grew up, my father was fairly well off. There were 5 children. We were all educated. I went to a private school. I was in college. I was going to become a dentist. And I got drafted. Okay? So when I came here, it was interesting. When they said, you know, I got my draft notice, we knew the war was going on because we saw it on TV, but no one knew where Vietnam was. Because in our country, what they teach is European history and American history. They never taught anything about Southeast Asia or about the Middle East or anything. So when I sat down, I came, I think it was the 23rd of March, 1968. When I got off the plane, actually at Tan Son Nhut. I landed at Tan Son Nhut at nighttime. And it was like, where am I? What is going on? You know, so I grew up running around in the woods, so I was used to weapons and things like this. But this was a whole new thing, and to be very frank with you, I have nothing against these people. I didn't really want to be here. But the only reason that I came is because I didn't want to embarrass my parents and go to Canada to try to avoid the draft. So when I went home, I went through a lot of issues with drugs and things like this, some failed marriages and stuff. And finally I grew up, and I figured I have to find out what caused all of this. So I started studying Vietnamese history all the way back to when the Vietnamese lived in China, all the way down. I've read all about Ho Chi Minh, all about Ngo Nguyen Diep. I've read books written by VC Patriots and NBA, and you see a different side of the war. And then you realize that a lot of things happened a long time ago when Roosevelt was president and stuff that should have never happened. And had agreements been honored, when Ho Chi Minh and the Viet Minh worked with our OSS, we would have never been here. So it's just, I don't know. Everyone says to me in my country, why do you go back? Why do you go back? I said, you have to go back with me. I cannot put it in words to you. Because it's a feeling when I get off that plane at Tan Son Nhut every time. It's just like, everything's gone, and it's like I'm home. It's like I'm home.
Well, you know, I guess the butterfly effect, the fact that Americans came here is the reason why me and a million other Vietnamese had fled and came to America and other parts of the world. And then in 2003, for me to be able to come back and then be able to stand in front of you today. Serendipitously, standing in the park. It's the butterfly effect. I love to shake your hand, Charlie, and
Yes,
to
sir.
say thank you for just
I'm
coming and
sorry-
saying hello.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I just wanted to introduce myself to you. I watch you all the time. I
Yeah,
want
thank
to know
you.
that.
Thank you so
Good
much.
show. Everyone should watch.
Okay.
Everyone should watch.
Thank you. You
You
gonna
guys-
finish your exercise?
I am, sir. Thank
Okay.
you. You guys have a good
Have
day.
a good day, okay?
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.